Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we have some exciting news. That's right, the official Wheel of Time account dropped another teaser after yesterday's Shadow Spawn one. Today we got Logain. We have Logain in action, the professor himself, Alvaro Morte, actually playing the character, seeing him walk around in his costume, seeing him channel, seeing the taint on Sidene. I mean, y'all, this is phenomenal. We're going to go ahead, watch the clip here, and then we'll go and break it down as much as we can. It's not very long, but we'll see what we can do. Before we dive into this clip, I want to go ahead and call out my high tier patrons, Unraveling the Pattern and Darish Sadai. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you want to support my channel, you can go check out my Patreon. The link is down in the description. My lowest tier is only $1. Any support you can give me really helps, but please know that just watching the video is really all that I need. Of course, if you want to help me produce better and higher quality content, checking out my Patreon and supporting me there is the best way to do that. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and check out this Logain clip because it's pretty exciting.
There have been false dragons before.
Ooh, taint. Oh.
His strength is more than anything I've ever seen.
Oh man. Yes. That is so cool. And we get to see a male channeler in action. Like, I cannot emphasize how awesome that is. We did not really get to see much of Logain in action in the previous trailer we got or in some of the subsequent drops. However, now we are seeing him actually initiate channeling Sidene. It is black, although it has been pointed out. I saw that Dragonmount posted this on Twitter, a picture, a screen grab of the still where he's channeling, and you can see the weaves of the power are actually white underneath and then black on top. So I think it is safe to say that the taint will make Sidene appear black. I like this color choice, actually. It's pretty awesome. I think it plays into the duality aspect of the metaphysics, and I think it's going to be a nice visual cue for non-readers to be able to say, oh, well, the male half of the power is just black. Because obviously we associate the color black with males who can channel, what with the Black Tower in the books and so on and so forth. So this is going to be interesting. I like that they're playing up the color dynamics here. In fact, I would say that their usage of color throughout the entire, everything I've seen, all of the drops and whatnot, the very, very bold use of color is quite refreshing. I'm tired of drowned out, washed out colors in a lot of TV shows that we've gotten. I know people think that, well, that's just more realistic. It's not necessarily. I mean, you can go back and look at historical examples of clothing, armor, art. I mean, colors have been a massive driver in a lot of stylistic choices, throughout history. And I think saying that everyone looked drab and washed out is probably a modern misconception, considering we're looking back after things have aged and they look drab and washed out. So we're going to go ahead and run through this short clip here. It's only about 22 seconds long. We'll look at some of the frames and dive in, see what we can pull out. All right, so that first shot of Logain walking through the streets, it looks like he's escaped or in a battle somehow. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's very dusty. It definitely looks chaotic, and he's just walking very ominously through this mist. It's just a silhouette shot. There's not much to glean from it. We can't even see the flag standard here to the left. Well, my left. So yeah, it's a little bit difficult to make out anything here. Perhaps the innkeeper can do an unblurring on this one, but I'm not going to do that here. Let's go ahead and move on. Okay, we get a close-up of Logain's face. It's not quite in focus. I think that's like they cut that just a little bit short, but this is clearly the same scene. It's just a close-up of him walking, finally revealing him from the silhouette that it is Logain walking towards possibly the soldiers here in the next shot. These soldiers look very worried. I'm looking at the colors. I see red. I see yellow. Looking at the helmet here, trying to get any detail. It's a little bit hard just right here while we're looking at it. I might have to do a little bit further analysis and blow these images up in an editor. But, I mean, this could be Ghealdan before Logain's captured. This could be Murundi. I mean, we don't know where they're going to put him. Ghealdan and Murundi are pretty close. These could be Shinarans for all we know, and maybe they took Logain to Shinar or Tarvalin guardsmen. It's difficult. Their helmet here, though, has a lot of like what looks to be like organic plant detail, almost like vines. That might be indicative that these are Tarvalin tower guards. Hard to say though, right off the bat. Just from this cursory glance. We're moving on to the next shot. Dude turns, we get a detail of the back of the helmet, and it looks pretty much the same as the front. It's not quite as in focus as the previous shot, but we can clearly see he has red and yellow for sure on his uniform here, and it looks like he's wearing not a full chest piece, but it is trimmed to be some slightly lighter plated armor here with some mail hanging down. And he's got a mail coif running down the back of his helmet there. So yeah, pretty cool design. I think it's not anything we haven't seen in fantasy or history before, but definitely the design choices, like in terms of the detail on the helmet, are interesting. I'm going to assume this guy might be a captain or relatively high rank, because you wouldn't see this on a regular soldier, I would say. So this is just me speculating now about what this dude could be. Maybe he's a noble. Maybe he's a lord. He could possibly even be a king. We're not 100% sure. But if you look to the guy to the right of him, his headpiece here is just solid. No ornamentation, no nothing. So again, this is just wild speculation. I'm having fun here. I hope y'all are having fun. But this is the kind of stuff that we've been waiting for, right? So let's go ahead and move on to yet another shot. All right, so here we have the guy. I'm presuming this is the soldier that was to the left of the previous fella. We see him throwing what I'm going to assume is a spear, possibly even just a rock, anything at Logain. He's in a mail jacket. He's got an unornamented helmet, relatively unadorned armor here. We can see a shield, it looks like, in the background with 2 stars, okay? They appear to be 6-pointed stars. I can't see. Let me scroll back just a little in the video to see if we can get a little bit more detail on it. No, that's just where the frame starts. Let's see if he moves his arm any. That's a negative. It does. All right, so I'm at another frame now. It does look like that was indeed a spear he was throwing, because as he moves forward, we're revealed another spearman right behind him. So maybe technically it's a javelin. All right, yeah, so I think this is safe to say this is pre-Logain's capture. This is probably in Ghealdan. Most likely, I'll have to look up the flag of Ghealdan just to be sure, to see what their design was in the books, because I can't recall right off the top of my head. But I'm going to bet this is before he's captured by the Aes Sedai. And this is him and his Dragonsworn probably trying to take a city. Okay, the next shot we get of Logain is him starting to channel, and indeed, you can see that the first bit of the frame, the weaves are white. And if you look up top here, as he's drawing in the power, the taint is seeping down over the weaves. So it is the taint that is black. It is not Sidene. I am 100% here for this visual representation. I think this is awesome. I think the weaves look good here. I think the taint looks amazing, by the way. Like, it looks like oily black slickness. This is basically canon how it's described. I mean, this is amazing. I can sit here and just talk about how much I love this visual. of representation of Sidene. But we can also need to stop and look at what Logain's got on. He's got on a bracer here. It looks decently adorned. He's wearing some fancy clothing, which reflects his noble heritage in Ghealdan. He appears to have his sigil ring here. I can't quite see if there's any detail on there, so let's move on to yet another frame and see if we get a little close-up. Okay, so we didn't get a much closer shot, but we do get this visual of the weaves behind Logain, and it appears he's got a shield of air in front of him to deflect the spears that are being thrown. This is honestly terrifying. Like, imagine someone like this walking towards you, and you can see why folks are distrustful of channelers. I mean, when someone has this level of power and you have nothing, like, what are you gonna do? What can you do? Nothing. You are just you've got to run or you die. Essentially, this is terrifying. This is almost scarier than the Trollocs, actually. I mean, because at least they're something you can stab. But a channeler, like, full on like this, there's nothing you can do as a normal person. If they intend to kill you, you're gone. This is terrifying. He looks like a monster in this shot, like absolutely monstrous. Yeah, and we can see that the spears are indeed snapping against the shield here. This is amazing. Look at that. They shatter into thousands of pieces. Okay, not thousands, like 20 pieces, but still, you know. Alright, it looks like as this scene moves on, we're getting a decent bit of Logain's costume revealed here. We can see the robes, bracers. Looks like he has a decent sized belt on. That maybe that's a pouch. That could just be some ornamentation, but it's like a huge, almost looks like a wrestling championship belt around his waist there. So yeah, that's pretty cool. It's not super clear, but it does appear to be golden. Again, keeping with Logain's noble heritage. To the next scene, we have Logain chained and caged. I mean, we've basically seen this before. This is probably him in the Aes Sedai retinue traveling back. We get a closer look at his costume, his robes. He has some very, very fine robes here, indicating that he is someone of status. He is collared here, which is interesting. I don't think that that's going to be the like the male Adam, but because I don't think they would bring that in so soon. But we did have theories possibly that the cage might be some kind of like ter'angreal meant for holding channelers so they can't reach the source. Because he does not appear to be visibly shielded here. So it's possible that this collar and chain is also a part of the apparatus. We don't have enough information to know, but I like the theory that the Aes Sedai would have ter'angreal specifically for holding folks so they can't channel. That would be, like, it's not really ever talked about in the series, I think, but that would be massively useful, especially for the Reds, as if they don't steal them on the spot and they take them back to stand trial in Tar Valon, then that makes sense that they need some way to more reliably transport them than just passing the shield on in shifts. So, yeah. Pretty cool stuff as far as I'm concerned. Anyway. All right, next scene, we've got Matt here. And this is interesting because it's Logain looking at Matt, we think. I mean, this could obviously be two completely separate scenes. But it does appear that this is maybe one continuous shot where Logain is looking at Matt and Matt is looking at Logain. We have no idea where this is at, where this is taking place. I'm going to assume this is Dagger Matt at this point. He looks really haggard in comparison to how we saw him in the Wine Spring. Though that could just be travel. We don't know. So this shot is interesting. We have Alana, Logain, and Moraine. And we know it's Moraine because of the shoulder pads. We know it's Alana because of the jacket and the hair right here. So they are looking at Logain, and he appears to be shielded inside the cage, and the shield grows and it brightens as the scene progresses. Alana and Moraine are channeling as well in the next scenes. This could be after his initial escape, where he knocks Leandrin and Kareen back, and they are redoing the shield. It's again, without more context, it's hard to say what's going on. This is just wild speculation, but based upon what we have, that seems likely. And then after that shot of them channeling, we go back to Steppen jumping with the 2 axes at Logain. I've talked about this scene quite a bit in another video I did. I'll link it as well, but if you want some further speculation on this specific scene, you can go check out my trailer breakdown video. Here we get to see Steppen actually make contact with the shield, and it appears that the shield does more than just shield you from channeling the source. It also protects you from physical harm. And then we get the scene of Logain breaking the shield again, where he knocks Leandrin and Kareen back. Finally, we end on a shot of him where someone says his strength is more than anything I've ever seen. Which, that might be Kareen saying that. I'm not 100% sure. Again, speculation. And the text is the self-proclaimed dragon reborn. I love it. I love it. So he even has, it looks like he actually has dragons on his collar here, like on his lapel, not collar, sorry, which is interesting. So that's a detail that was not actually in the books, I would say. So he would have had this jacket custom made. Interesting for sure. I mean, this is amazing, and honestly, like, while yesterday's or Wednesday's was whatever day it is, the Shadow Spawn drop was freaking amazing. There wasn't very much plot to be gained from it. That was basically just giving us the reveal of what the Shadow Spawn look like and how they are going to behave. So, with this Logain clip, we're getting a little bit more insight into possibly his character plotline, specifically for us who've read the books. Like, while I understand that we want to attract new watchers, I think we're going to be able to do that, but this is really for book readers to geek out about. Same with the previous drop. This is just amazing. I mean, like, I've already spent like 20 minutes talking about 22, like a minute per second, basically. This is insane. So yeah, I mean, I still personally don't have anything negative to say about the show. From what we've seen, I'm super positive on it. I never thought a show would be made of the Wheel of Time. And the fact that we're even getting one is amazing. I know some folks are probably going to be like, oh, you just are going to support it no matter what. But I mean, I'll call out things that I think are bad when I see them. And mostly what I think would make the show bad is going to be writing and delivery from the actors. Like, that's what will make or break the show in my mind. Not the visuals, not the color grading, not any of that. Like, because honestly, if acting and writing is good, all that other stuff doesn't matter. I mean, think about it. Like, we have timeless television shows and movies that are visually inferior to literally everything we can produce today. Like, let's just be honest about it. Anything that a modern movie studio can produce today is basically visually superior to anything that came before it. But you know what? Visuals a movie does not make. I'm sorry. Like, spectacle, yes, absolutely. The spectacle of anything we watch today is much better than it ever has been. But writing, acting, and the whole package are what make it. And if those things are not good, you can bet I'm going to complain about it because, honestly, in season 8 of Game of Thrones, it wasn't the special effects or the set design that I had issues with. It was the fact characters teleported around with no reason and then made really dumb decisions that was out of character for them, and things magically happened for some people with no explanation. That really drove me crazy. Not any of that other stuff. And that had, so, and our show has basically a larger budget than the entire first season of Game of Thrones did, so I'm not worried about any of that stuff. I'll criticize what I think needs to be criticized if it's bad. And so far, I have no reason to worry. So we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, these drops are just on point. And as far as marketing goes, I think Amazon's killing it. They definitely have some great social media folks out there. So yeah. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap the video here. If you like what I do here, please consider subscribing. Go ahead, drop a like on the video if you liked it, dislike if you didn't. If you want to support what I do in a more direct way, please head over and check out my Patreon. My lowest tier is only $1. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you all next time.